I have one question for you. This question will define your professional success more than any other. It's a simple question. Who do you want to be? Whether you know it or not, you're answering this question every day through your actions. Your success depends on getting people to give more. How you show up and treat people means everything. Little actions you take make work better. You lift people up by demonstrating respect, making people feel valued, appreciated, and heard. You hold people down by making people feel small, insulted, disregarded, excluded. Now, of course, we may not intend to make people feel this way. We may lack awareness, or we may not be mindful of our actions and how they make people feel, whether we're tethered to technology or we're just stressed out. The number one reason why people say they're uncivil at work is because they're stressed or overwhelmed. My own work experience led me to study these effects. I was a college athlete, and I interned at the largest sports management and marketing firm in the world. And after graduating, I followed my boss down to Florida to launch a sports academy. What I failed to realize was that this subsidiary had a very toxic culture. And as incivility flowed from the top leader down, people took out their frustrations on others. And the organization lost as performance and commitment dropped and talent left. And the contrast between this organization's two culture showed me the difference between what work was and what it could be. And since then, I've been studying and trying to quantify the differences that this has for people and organizations. And what I found is that your interactions and the culture in which you work have a very powerful effect on you, on your energy, on your sense of thriving. This affects your performance, it affects your organization's performance, and it affects the impact that you'll have on the world. Incivility takes a real toll on people, on their health, on their well-being, on their performance. Across organizations, over 2/3 of people say that they withhold effort after experiencing incivility. 80% lose work time worrying about the interaction. And in experiments, incivility decreases performance. But these effects even extend to witnesses, who were over 50% less effective on word problems and 28% less creative on brainstorming tasks. But in these experiments, negative emotions or reduced motivation didn't explain why performance and creativity decreased. Incivility robs cognitive resources, hijacking performance and creativity. So even if you want to perform at your best, you can't. To learn more about these effects, we studied how incivility affects 3 different stages of the cognitive system: how attentive we are to information, how we process it, and how we use it in problem solving. And in these studies, we would prime incivility using a sentence scrambling task. So we gave people 30 combinations of 5 words and asked them to use 4 of them to create a sentence. Half received a list with 15 rude trigger words: impolitely, interrupt, bold, obnoxious, disturb, bother. The other half received the same exact task, but their list contained none of these rude triggers. So we wanted to investigate whether incivility disrupts attention, causing people to miss critical information altogether. And we tested this using the invisible gorilla, which some of you may be familiar with. So participants are asked to count the number of basketball passes made as the group moves around the room. Now, while counting, some fail to miss this gorilla that walks right in between the middle of the group, stops, pounds his chest for several seconds. So we primed people with incivility, then we showed them this video. Can you guess the effect that that had? They were 5 times less likely to notice anything unusual. Then we tested whether incivility disrupts information processing and recall. And we found that those that were exposed to incivility, that they were primed with incivility, did 17% worse on recalling information, these cognitive tasks. They also missed 43% more math errors. And then we tested whether incivility affects goal management. And goal management is really critical to problem solving, decision making, and planning future actions. We found that those that were exposed to incivility really struggled with goal management. So it took them significantly longer to make decisions, it took them longer to physically record their decisions, and they made significantly more errors. So what's the big deal? Not spotting the gorilla is one thing, but if we present this situation in a hospital context, it can be fatal. A doctor detailed how a medical team in his West Coast hospital had administered the wrong treatment to a patient after having an uncivil encounter with the supervising doctor. The necessary information was right there on the patient's chart, but somehow they lacked the attention and awareness to take it into account. Simple mistake, right? Well, that patient died. Now, what's scary is that this example is far from unique. So across a study of 4,500 doctors and nurses, 71% tied uncivil behaviors to medical errors that they knew of. 27% tied this bad behavior to the deaths of their patients. Incivility is like being trapped inside a fog. Even if the bad behavior isn't aimed at us, we're just witnesses, it can put us in a real cloud of negativity and have some pretty profound effects. Let me give you one example. I'll often give participants a brainstorming task where they have 5 minutes to come up with as many ideas as they can for how to use a brick. Witnesses of incivility consistently come up with ideas like this: break someone's nose, smash someone's finger, attack, torture, or kill someone, beat or crush a person to death, sink a body in a river, throw it through a window, smash the experimenter's face, even though the experimenter didn't do anything wrong, place it on the floor to stub people's toes. Now, observing rudeness also causes people to imitate this behavior, though. So people that witness incivility are 3 times less likely to help, and their willingness to share their resources drops by over 50%. Civility makes work better. How you show up and treat people means everything. This is what I found. Incivility chips away at people and performance. Incivility hijacks focus. It robs people of their potential, even if they're just working around it. Civility lifts people. You will get people to give more and function at their best if you're civil. You'll also build a culture that helps make the world better. So in every interaction, think, who do you want to be?